So it was obviously a big controversy at the time when the Green Bay Packers elected to kick a field goal instead of trying to tie the game down 8. And so I figured, do we know for sure if it was the wrong call or the right call? And there are people on both sides of this, but I wanted to look into the data and figure out exactly if we can prove what the right call was. So for example, if you look at the fourth down decision bot, which is a great Twitter account if you're ever unsure about a certain fourth down, they said that the recommendation was medium to go for it. However, there is kind of an asterisk next to this. As you see, whoever created this bot said that the bot was too conservative because it didn't account for the Packers being able to go for 2. It just gave them the 7 points that they would have gotten for the touchdown. So go for it was correct, but it just wasn't strong enough. So a little bit of an asterisk there. But they said it was like, they kind of agree that you should go for it instead of kick the field goal, but probably stronger than that. Also, Laura Albert, who is a professor, did a chart where she said that the win probability for the Packers went from 10.2 if they decided to go for it to just 7.6 when they decided to kick a field goal. So that's interesting as well, but I wanted to kind of do my own data because it seems like a lot of times when people do data about this stuff, they don't take, all the external factors into account. They only take in just simply what would happen in a vacuum, but of course, there's a difference between what would happen if they do it 1,000 times and what would happen in a specific game given the way the game is going. And that's kind of the constant thing people say that are anti-analytics is you have to know where the game is going. So let's do our own sort of makeshift analytics. So first, the chance that Crosby makes the kick here is 97.9%. That's his percentage from that area. And so we're going to talk about what is the chance that they would have won the game when kicking the field goal. So that's the percentage chance that Crosby makes the kick. Obviously, we know now he did make the kick, but LaFleur didn't know that at the time, and that's kind of the way I'm doing this, is right at the time, what was the right decision from LaFleur's perspective. So the Bucs got at least 2 first downs without scoring a touchdown, 66.7% of the time, and this is excluding the one drive that was a one-play touchdown because we don't know if, there was more field there. Would they have been able to get another first down? We don't know. But in 6 out of the 9 other drives, Tampa Bay did get at least 2 first downs, meaning there's a 32.6% chance Green Bay would get the ball back down 5 points, because they would kick the field goal and then, assuming they make it. And then there's also the factor of, they have to get the ball back. But in this scenario, that's what they do when they get the stop. And so basically, this now means, due to Green Bay Packers, if they get the ball back, would they score a touchdown and take the lead and win the game? Well, the Packers scored touchdowns in 3 out of the 10 drives they had up until this point. So, and that ended up being the entire game. So we'll just use that for now, which would mean that they have a 30% chance to score a touchdown if they get the ball back. And since they have a 32.6% chance of getting the ball back, they have a 9.78% chance of winning the game kicking the field goal. That's not that bad. And I do have to mention that there is one key factor I am leaving out here, and it's the fact that I'm basically assuming in this scenario, Green Bay would have the same odds to score a touchdown as they did in any other drive. That's obviously untrue because they wouldn't have had as much time left. Because 4.3 is the average amount of plays ran from Tampa Bay when they didn't get 2 first downs and they didn't get a touchdown. Because the reason why I have to phrase it that way is because there was technically a drive where they got 1 first down, but they had multiple plays that went past the first down marker. Just the other one went all the way for a touchdown. So that's why I have it that way. But yeah, they averaged 4.3 plays. So we'll just round it down to 4 plays, which would mean that Green Bay wouldn't have a ton of time. They would have probably had just 1 minute and 40 seconds left and no timeouts in this scenario, even if they got the ball back, which means that, I don't know if that's really fair to say that they get the 30% chance that they had throughout, but we're just going to go with it for now because honestly, it's actually not going to matter. So on to the other side now. So the Packers' third down percentage in this game was 57.14, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because, again, it's a 4th down, but it's similar to a 3rd down just in that, obviously, typically on a 3rd down, your mindset is we get the first down marker or we don't, so don't worry about getting like a few yards, getting halfway there. So that's kind of about how they were at. And what's interesting is that, what's really interesting is when you look at how far their average third down yards to go was. Their average third down distance to go in this game was 5.4, which the reason why I'm happy that it worked out that way is because, I want to use their third down percentage for this, and I can because this is almost directly in between where the Packers had to go to get the touchdown and a 2-point conversion. They needed, they needed 8 yards to get the touchdown. They needed 2 yards for the 2-point conversion. So that's 3.4 away and 2.6 away. That's pretty close. So we're just going to use their third down percentage for both the 2-point conversion and a touchdown. Again, no, it's not totally fair, but this is not a perfectly scientific study. We're trying to see if we can create put the situation into the analytics, which makes things a little bit more difficult. It takes some guessing and some assuming, but that's what we're doing. So the Packers get the touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie the game around 32.6% of the time. That's given their third down percentage. So if they do that, they have about a 32.6% chance of tying the game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers scored on 5 out of their 10 drives at this point. And I'm bringing this up because they would have had 3 timeouts left. They would have had over 2 minutes left. They have time, meaning there's about a 50% chance they go down the field and are able to just put points on the board and win it and make it not regulation. 50% chance they don't. So that also has to be factored in. So just tying the game isn't necessarily enough. So the chances for overtime then would be 16.3%. That's if Tampa Bay had a 50-50 shot. And also we're not including, maybe they could have gone a 3 and out and the Packers go down and score. But that seems unlikely. It seems like that, there would have been at least enough time killed that Green Bay couldn't do that. Meaning the chances that the Packers win in overtime are 8.15%, which is lower than the last one we did. But of course, it has to be mentioned that that's not the only way Green Bay can win, by tying the game, sending it to overtime, and winning. There's other ways they can win, which is why it's, this decision kind of looks a lot worse. The actual chance of the Green Bay Packers winning outright by kicking the field goal is a little bit better than the chance of the Packers winning, by tying up the game and then winning in overtime. But there's other pathways for Green Bay, because the chance that the Packers get 6 points doing this same formula would be about 24.5% of the time. Those are the odds that the Green Bay Packers would have scored a touchdown, but then not scored the 2-point conversion. And going back to what we used earlier, there's about a 33% chance that the Green Bay Packers get the ball back with 1 minute 40 seconds and no timeouts. That's what we used earlier. And I'm going to use the same chance that I used earlier for how likely the Packers would have been able to march down the field. But of course, I can't just go with, what I did last time, which was a 3 out of 10, because the Green Bay Packers scored points on 5 out of their 10 drives. And given the fact that Green Bay just needs a field goal now, they're only down 2, that's all they would have had to do. So it's not getting divided, by the 30%, it's by 50%. So if they have a 50% chance there, then they have a 4.1% chance to win it in regulation. So that's getting added to the original thing. And that's not the only way they could win. If they get no points, they don't convert to 4th down, there still is a chance. There's a 30% chance they score a touchdown, and there's a 15% chance they tie it, as in getting the 2-point conversion, which would send it to overtime, meaning that there's a 7.5% chance that, if they don't get any points, they still win, meaning they win an additional 3.2% at a time. So all of that gets added together. So there's actually a lot higher odds than, you realize, because there's other ways to win besides just getting it right there. The game's not over. So the Packers' total chance to win, if they did not kick the field goal, would be about 15.45%, according to this very much not a scientific study. But, I think it's a fun exercise and probably closer than just looking at what it would look like on a spreadsheet. At least I think so. Now, the one area where this is a little bit wrong, I actually think is fine, because it actually favors the losing argument. So I still think that works, which is, the kicking the field goal. I think that it favors them, that I'm not factoring in the fact that you would have had a little bit more difficulty scoring given, only a minute and 40 seconds left, no timeouts. but I'm still pretending like it's the same odds as a regular drive. That favors the kicking to field goal argument, but it's still over a 5% chance increase of going for it than kicking the field goal. So it's not the craziest thing in the world. Either way, Tampa Bay had a great chance to win, but you'd certainly rather take a 15% chance to win than a 9% chance to win. I would, at least. Also, I should mention one last thing before I go. One just kind of funny thing is I made a math mistake earlier, so I actually tweeted out a poll. I didn't tweet it out. I put it on the community posting on this channel, but then I realized that I made a math mistake, so it was completely pointless. So if you're wondering why I did that, that's why I did that. It's you can completely disregard it, but that's the reason for that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was really fun to make, I thought. I had a great time making it. I'm not sure how much you guys enjoy watching it. I hope you guys enjoy these kind of things because I like making them, and I'd like to make some more, but we'll see. But yeah, let me know what you thought about it. Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.